All right, what's up, otakus? This is, I guess, the second installment of the 69 book haul. It's our biggest haul since I've started this channel, and picked up a lot of good books. Nothing major in terms of like keys, um, but a lot of, I think, just for me, a lot of significant books. And so in our previous video, we covered the modern books in the collection. And now we're going to go into the copper. And then after the copper, we're going to cover the Jim Lee books that we picked up. And then last but not least, we're going to cover the Bronze and Silver Age books we picked up, which didn't take up the bulk of this haul, but I would say in terms of the book of the haul, which I always kind of feature and highlight, the book of the haul I saved for last in the videos. So it's definitely in that Bronze Silver Age group. So just keep your eye out for that one. I know these videos will be kind of, they'll go out on the channel in sequence. So you do have to wait for that one. Now, so I just want to remind everybody again, 69 books. We spent $49. And again, that worked out to about 70 cents per book that we spent for this haul. But in terms of the value return, we got around $5.80 or $5.70 in terms of the value per book. And again, I don't think there's anything in the haul that exceeds maybe $30 is as high as I would say. Maybe the highest price book in the haul, maybe $20. 30 mint it would go for 30, but in terms of its condition, it probably isn't worth that. But let's just say that, in terms of the priciest book in the haul would be a $30 book, but that's not what we're considering the book of the haul. And so obviously, without actually getting the books, none of this means anything. So we'll just get right to the haul. All right, here we go. Okay, so we're back, and I guess we'll start right here with this. This got hot earlier this year. Because there was I guess some like rumored speculation that Santa Claus might make an appearance, and I think the Spider-Man movie or something. There was just a lot of buzz around the fact, because it was around the holidays, and I guess people were just in that festive mood. Now this is a comic book that's key because Santa Claus is revealed to be an M-class mutant, or what is it? The level, the highest, the most dangerous level of mutant. But that ended up. I mean, it's revealed in this, but that didn't come into fruition in the movies. And so this book shot up in value, and then it came back down. In terms of the value of this book, with the grade and all, this is like a 6.5 grade, because there's just a lot of dinginess. The spine is kind of been out of shape here. I don't know if you can see it there very well there. Been out of shape. It's not the cleanest spine. And there's a little bit of a tape tear here. Because of the snow, though, like the snow effect, that tape tear doesn't draw attention, but it's there. So yeah, I'd put this at a 6.5 grade, about a $5 value, but it's just a great cover by Art Adams. You got all these great Marvel characters here. It's also one of those wraparound covers. Santa Claus is on the back, running away from the superheroes. Just a fun, great cover. Again, Marvel Holiday Special #1, key book. Picked this up at I picked this up at Half Price Books for $1, for half of cover price. Pretty cool, pretty neat book. All right, moving on. We've got this is a great. Oftentimes you don't see too many examples of landscape covers. I think they should do more landscape type covers. But this is a great one. This is actually key because it's Todd McFarlane's last book on Spider-Man. And, he had this great run through Amazing Spider-Man. Really, it started off in Marvel Tales, where he's doing this Spider-Man, kind of the reprints of classic Spider-Man stories. He's doing a lot of the cover work there, and then he transitioned into Amazing Spider-Man, did a great run there, where he introduced Venom, and then that carried over into another volume of Spider-Man that ran through issue number 16 here, the last one. Great landscape cover, also featuring members of X-Force. X-Force was a really hot team at this time, and just a great cover. So, I would say there's this sort of like ambiguity of where modern starts, copper ends and modern begins. I would say with the exodus of like Jim Lee, Todd, Marc, and everybody from Marvel to Image, right when Image starts, that's probably we could mark that event as the start of the modern age, or at least the end of the copper. So this would, in my book, still counts as a Copper Age book. One of the last Copper Age books. Okay, so this next one is just, again, I picked this one up for $0.25 in the quarter bins, and this is actually just a collection of, I think, a 3-issue comic book that Marvel put out ahead of, or right around the time of Terminator 2. It was a basically comic book adaptation of the movie, and they do that a lot. And although the comic book covers are great, I thought this trade paperback, which combines all, I think, 3 issues of that mini series. This one combines all of them in this nice, really square-bound trade paperback. Now I know this, I don't know, this is a first print because it's, again, just the age of this book and the fact that I pulled it out of the 25-cent bin. Sorry, this is not a 25-cent. This cost me $1. I found this in the $1 bin. But the fact that, this, not in the best shape, but the fact that I got it, again, really, for $1, you're getting it pretty cheap. Had it been a quarter, it'd been better, but even $1, it's still cheap. Again, because of the black cover, all the flaws are pretty apparent, but again, square bound book, not a lot of spine ticks, just corners are a little worn, the edges are a little worn, but overall great looking book. And it's a great cover. Look at that awesome movie poster cover of Arnold on the bike with the shotgun. That is just an absolutely awesome cover. So I don't know exactly what the value of this is. I looked online, tried to track it. Looks like some places are selling copies of this for like $15. I've also seen it as high as $25. So let me know in the comments what you think this book is worth. This is definitely a keeper for the collection because I love this movie. It to me represents, that 90. It was basically the movie that kind of kicked off the 90s, right? The first big blockbuster of the 90s. So, and Terminator remains. I think there've been like 4 or 5 subsequent Terminator movies. I'm sure there's going to be something in like a serial format down the road, but Terminator's here to stay. It was nice to see Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sarah, Sarah O'Connor, the actress that played Sarah O'Connor in the original, Linda. Oh, her name escapes me. But anyways, it's nice to see her come back and reprise her role as Sarah Connor, and just sort of, I guess, set the stage for future iterations of this really popular movie. Now, Terminator 1 was great. It was a great movie, but I felt like this sequel, that if you talk about franchises, or I guess trilogies, where oftentimes the first movie is the definitive movie of the series, but like Star Wars is one of those cases where Empire, the second movie, was the best. You can make that argument for The Godfather as well, and you definitely would make that argument for Terminator. This T2 movie was pretty. It was an exciting time at the movie theater, and I did see this in the theaters when it came out. Awesome movie. All right, this next cover, picked this one up for 25 cents, and this is Robin number 1. Great Brian Bolland cover. This is actually the first volume. This book came out in 1991, and just a great kind of cover by Bolland, and significant because it's the first issue in the series. So yeah, happy to add this to my collection. And just trying to see if I missed any of the books here as we go through. Nope, doing good. All right, this next one is just a great cover. I think it's one of Liefeld's best covers. It's just this great shot of Cable and Wolverine. They're sharing the panel. The New Mutants. Sort of some of the members of the New Mutants in the back. There's a nice newsstand copy. I would put the grade at a solid 8 or 8.5 with a press. Yeah, with a press 8.5. As is probably an 8. Just nostalgic cover, Rob Liefeld. Newsstand copy from the 90s. All right, moving on. This cover here is a book right here. Yeah, this cover here is, I believe, follows a key. The previous one here is a key, and this is just a great John Byrne run of West Coast Avengers, and I picked it up for 50 cents at Half Price Books. Picked up, I think, 3 copies here, these 3 copies of West Coast Avengers. So we picked up 57, 54, and 48. And, I think none of these are real keys, but one of these is a very interesting copy. So This is, again, follows a key issue. It's the next one in the key issue. This one is just a great homage cover of Fantastic Four #1. I've got another one by Byrne, similar. It's a Fantastic Four cover. This is just a hilarious cover. The cap ends up. This is the black suit cap. And he says, "All of you shut up and fight." Pretty cool. So, but getting back, so these are, both direct editions. But this newsstand edition is very interesting, and this one turns out not only a newsstand, it's also a Marc Jewelers edition. Marc Jewelers. I don't know if you want to call them variants or what, but just the Marc Jewelers edition, I guess you'd say. I don't know how rare it is. I'm trying to get a sense. I've asked around, and I guess the rule on Marc Jewelers is it depends on like what kind of book it is, from what era, and whether it was really limited to like. I know they someone told me that the Marc Jewelers prints, the earlier ones, are the ones that were limited only to like stations in Europe, I guess, is where they kind of rolled these out. And as time went on, you had more, military outposts with the Marc Jewelers insert, so we had just the larger print runs later. So I don't know where this particular copy falls in that. I would imagine Marc Jewelers precedes this by many, many years. So this is on the latter end of that. But either way, it's going to be significantly higher because of the newsstand and because of the Marc Jewelers designations on this book. So great cover. You see Cap and She-Hulk. It says here, Captain America and She-Hulk have found the Scarlet Witch. Maybe not the smartest thing they ever did. And you have this great black suit edition of the Scarlet Witch. Great cover. And in this particular issue, She-Hulk is wearing this really 80s-esque aerobics outfit throughout the issue. So it's an interesting take. All right, moving on. This next book, I just thought this was such a cool book. And what's really cool about, again, I got this from a buyer at the mall, seller at the mall, the Auburn Outlet Mall. The weekend I actually went to go to Ancient Comics, I got this social media notification that said there was this, sports card and comic show going on at one of the local malls here. And so I kind of went there first thing in the morning and started my shopping there rather than at Ancient Comics. And I'm so glad I did, because I picked up a lot of great books that I wouldn't have otherwise. I probably would have picked up books at Ancient Comics too. But for the price I got, the books I got in terms of the $2, $2 pricing, I felt like I made out better at this show than I could have at Ancient Comics. So I'm really glad I stopped by there. But anyway, they have this book, and I was considering getting this book, but the guy, because of the sticker on here, and because of the condition, there's like a crease here as well, he just gave it to me for free, which I thought was great, because as you know, I have the entire edition of this, and I have several copies of not only this first cover in the run, but also the variant cover, which is the first variant cover in comic books. And what's interesting is not a lot of people know that this is, I guess, like a subsequent print. So I guess it would count as like a second printing of this comic book. And it's a hard cover, first off, and it's also a mini size. So you can see it's a mini version. And this is something called Special MPI Audio Edition. So this entire run had, I guess, some kind of tape, cassette tape that it came with that read the story aloud for kids. And like obviously this was sold at Walmart for 20 cents back in the day. So this was some kind of 20-cent book at Walmart as evidence to buy. So I don't know why, you know, Walmart has a policy, I guess, of putting, at that time, putting stickers on the comics they sold, but this also would make it one of the earlier, because I think, you know, I know Walmart's got its start way back when, but I think as it was expanding, it was expanding right around this time nationally. So I don't, depending on where this comic came from, this might have been some of the first comic books that were sold there, but no way to verify that. That's just something I'm conjecturing about, so you can completely ignore it. But what I'm saying is, like, comic books weren't really common in these retail environments at the time, and also Walmart wasn't really as you know, well known back, you know, in the late 80s, or I think this book was released in, I guess this was released right around the time, around 89, I guess. That's what the information is saying. This is 1989. So I think this initial Byrne run was a little earlier, maybe 86, and this is a few years later. But yeah, just a great mini second print. That's got to be pretty darn rare, or rarer than this comic. This comic, I know, got kind of probably is overprinted in terms of the original, but this one's, I would imagine, is a bit more rare. So cool book to pick up. Now this next one is also another cool book that we picked up because it's a really interesting book. I picked it out of the 25-cent bin. I was actually debating whether to get or not. It is a key book, and it does homage the Exorcist movie poster. So it's an homage to that movie, Exorcist. Really kind of creepy. Choose that eerie tone that the Exorcist captures. Justice League America 27. Again, it's key for that reason because of the cover. It's the movie cover. And I saw this signature on it, and I was thinking, I looked in the interior of the book. It looked like Ken Nagatami or something. I couldn't really pinpoint who this signature was associated with in the book. And then I went in, so the cover artist for this book is Kevin Maguire. And he did the cover, and I believe he did the interiors as well for the book. So this is Kevin Maguire's signature. And the reason I know it's Kevin Maguire's signature is because I went into CGC, I typed in Kevin Maguire CGC signature, and I found a bunch of images of Kevin Maguire's CGC signature books online, and I compared those signatures with this one, and it's a match. It's definitely similar. Now this is a little bit messier. The photos I saw, Kevin had written his name or signed his name more legibly than this one. But yeah, in terms of the signature, it's a match. So yeah, I got a signed copy of Justice League America 27. Again, key because of the Exorcist movie cover, which is really cool. Anytime you can find a signed copy of a book by the cover artist, you're golden. And so this looks to be in pretty decent shape as well. No major creases. It's a black cover, so yeah, it presents really well. I could see this coming out high grade with a nice press. So really happy to pick up this signed book. All right, moving right along. Now this was a book I picked up at Jeff's in the 50% off bins. I picked this up for $3, so it's one of the, I think this was probably the priciest book that we picked up that day. So I spent $2 on pretty much every book from the mall, and then I didn't pay anything above a quarter. I mean, I bought two $1 books. I bought about 30 some 25-cent books, and then I picked up this book for $3. So I ended up spending about $14. Sorry, $12 plus tax, which is ended up being about close to $14 at Ancient Comics. And again, this was the most expensive book. It's high grade, fairly high grade copy. There's like a spine tick here, and there. But overall, it's a really clean copy, and it's just this wonderful cover by Marc Silvestri of the Marauders. Yeah, Madeline, Pryor, Sinister, and the Marauders. Love this Inferno crossover story arc. This was just, yeah, great comic book at the time. Really, one of the reasons why, like X-Men was such a popular title back then, just storylines like this. Great Silvestri cover, beautiful Silvestri, and great Silvestri art throughout, throughout this series. His run on X-Men, absolutely fantastic. It's what makes him a legend. All right. Pick this up for 25 cents. Now, it's not the best copy in the world. There is like a crease here. And, yeah, outside of that crease, it looks pretty good. Just a great cover here with Wonder Woman and members of, just, I guess, yeah, just great superhero characters from DC. And beautiful George Perez cover. As I've mentioned on many occasions before, I'm just trying to pick, kind of pick away at this, at least the first 25 issues of Wonder Woman, the Perez initial run in this volume of Wonder Woman. And, unfortunately, I didn't run across Wonder Woman in the 25-cent bins. This was really the only copy. Again, I did kind of miss out on one sec. There were just so many long boxes. I kind of missed out on this one section because there were some people in the shops just kind of conversing in that corner of the store, so I couldn't really access the boxes there. But I don't think we would have found, I'm sure people have gone through and they've probably claimed all these issues. So I just feel fortunate to at least have found one issue, a really great cover there of Wonder Woman as well. It's that classic look. Mr. Perez created for the character. And also, again, you get these nice background drawings of the superheroes as well. So great comic book. Yeah, happy to pick that up. Moving on. So yeah, speaking of Dr. Fate, we got the first issue for the character in comic books. He's, I guess, been a character in different story. Here you go. There's a great example where he's just in the comic book stories, but this is his first sort of solo series. And I know he's going to be in the upcoming Black Adam movie. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? He's going to be in the upcoming Black Adam movie. And so it'll be interesting to see how that character plays out. This is a very nice cover. It's covered by Keith Giffen. Again, this is a book that was released in 1987. Very nice book. And it's a key book because it's a first issue and it's not worth a lot of value, but I anticipate this will go up as more details of that character come out. The next book we got for 25 cents. So yeah, again, picked this up for 25 cents. And the next book we picked up for 25 cents is this great cover by Mignola. Batman number 452. Newsstand copy. Again, anytime you can pick up a 90s newsstand copy, especially for a quarter, do so. And this is actually a pretty decent condition book. It's got some spine ticks, but overall it's still in pretty good shape. So I would put this at an 8.5. And again, beautiful artwork there. Really just beautifully captures New York City there, Gotham. That's the Empire State Building. Yeah, just gargoyle. Just pretty much your typical sort of 90s-esque Batman cover. And yeah, 25 cents. Really nice pickup. All right, so this one I got for $3, so it kind of matches, I guess, the highest comic that we spend. This was again from. So actually, I got this. I got this for $3. Got it for $3. And initially, this was though a $5 book. It was priced at $10. He said, everything in this box here is 50% off. So it was priced at $10, but 50% off. The book was at $5, but then when I went to go buy the book, it ended up being like 23 something dollars, and the guy didn't have a card reader, so he was only dealing in cash that day. Luckily, I had cash, but as I was, kind of calculating the books, he said, "You know what? I'll give you that entire pile for $20." And so this ended up being $30. It went from $5 to $3, and it's a really nice grade copy of Legends #1. And I mentioned before I picked up a few issues of this John Byrne Legends. Great covers, and every cover in this book is just amazing. John Byrne does an amazing job. But this one here, with Bane and with Darkseid there, this is just an incredible. Is that Bane? Who is that? Sorry, that's not Bane. That's somebody else. But anyway, this just is great. Cover with the villains fighting the heroes. Just wonderful artwork, and key because I think this is the first appearance of some character, some key character. That's going to take a look at my notes, but anyway, it's a key first appearance, and happy to have picked this up again for $3. It's a book we've been wanting to add to the collection, and $3 for this really key book. I think this book's at like 10 or so. So yeah, happy to. I think we got a good deal on it. Didn't get the best deal, but it's a decent enough deal. This is a book. Again, this is a newsstand edition, and this has an issue because up here in this corner, I don't know if you can see it, but it had the 25-cent sticker on there. And so what ended up happening was we had to remove this sticker, and even though it's a 25-cent book, it's not very high grade. There's a lot of spine ticks. Again, it's kind of dingy, and really just that like dirt on the stickiness there. Now that will degrade over time. It's still rather sticky. I tried to wipe it off, but it's still, the residue is still kind of, it hasn't degraded to the point where it'll come off easily. But over time, that residue will degrade, get weaker, and we'll be able to maybe wipe it off cleanly, like completely wipe it off. But even if we don't, got this book for $0.25. It still presents really well. It's this great cover of Dagger, or Cloak, and it's the 25th anniversary cover wrap around. So again, anytime you can pick up this, one of the books, Marvel books of this time period, it's a win. So just very happy to have picked this up. Yeah, slowly chipping away at this one as well. I think the next ones, in terms of the next ones we want to pick up Cap, Thor, and Daredevil. And also Spectacular Spider-Man and Web of Spider-Man. So there's a bunch still left in this particular run we're trying to complete. 25th anniversary covers. Okay, so yeah, again, a lot of 25-cent pickups here. This is also another pickup for 25 cents. This is key because this is the Wedding of Raven. I'm gonna say it's Raven. It looks to be Raven. The Wedding of Raven. Maybe it's somebody else. Anyways, it's a wedding issue. It's also the 50th issue. It's an anniversary issue, so a lot of things going on here. Just great, beautiful cover by Perez. So I mentioned, I tried to pick up as many George Perez books for 25 cents in the hunt. And there were a lot of, there were some Neil Adams books, but more modern, books by him. Some more modern books for Mr. Perez as well. And didn't find a lot, but again, this newsstand copy of this Tale of Teen Titans, we found it for $0.25. So it does need to press, but again, when it presses out, this will be really high grade. So really happy to have picked up this beautiful George Perez cover for 25 cents. And again, we're trying to complete this run of the new Teen Titans and parts of the Tales of the Teen Titans, at least the George Perez run on these books. So happy to have that. Now, we're getting to, we found this key Alpha Flight book, number 7. It's a, I think it's like a backstory for Aurora. And it's a newsstand edition. So just a really cool John Byrne cover. Not that I'm trying to pick up Alpha Flight, but for a quarter in a newsstand edition, I thought, yeah, why not? So picked it up. It's also a key, so this one as well. I think this is the first like origin, also an origin story of Puck. Newsstand copy. Again, anytime you can pick up John Byrne covers from the Copper Age for 25 cents, you're not going to pass up that opportunity. So happy to pick up Alpha Flight 5 and 7, both books. Now this is probably this is probably the book of the haul in terms of value. Not the book of the haul that I would say ranks as the best book I picked up, but in terms of value, this was a book I paid $2 for. And again, it this particular issue is valued at like $35, but again, because of the condition, I mean, it's a beautiful book. It actually is probably high grade, except for 2 issues. There's a corner crunch here. Let's see right there. Just getting a little closer here so you can see it. See that corner crunch there. So there's one issue, and then there's a crease right there at the bottom. And on a black cover, they really stick out. But in terms of the spine really clean. I mean, just a few ticks that aren't color breaking. It's still very vibrant in terms of its color. And just a great, beautiful cover by Bob Layton. And yeah, so really happy to pick this up. This was a book, again, in terms of the highest value of the things we picked up, this is up there. This is, again, like a 35 book. Well, again, with the grade, I'd place the value probably closer to 20. So I just say it's a $20 book, but beautiful Thor annual number 11 Bob Layton cover, classic Bob Layton cover. Okay, down to the last few books of the Copper Age. Yeah, found this book in the 25-cent bin. Really, really good grade. Let me take a look. It's a black cover, but really nothing. Those color breaks. Corners are still pretty sharp. So great presenting book for something from really 1983 is when this book came out. Frank Miller. Now Frank Miller did everything. He did the art, he wrote the story. This is just really a classic must-have if you're a Frank Miller collector. And again, it's not like I found like every issue in this run. I only found book 2, but book 2 is still like a $10 book, so I was happy to pick it up for a quarter. And the last book that we found was a real surprise, and this is just picking up a lot of attention. And I think as the movie gets closer to its release, there's just going to be a lot of hype around this movie now. I think they got the original actor who played Willow to come back for the it's really just a continuation from that original movie, just again taking place many years later. So they got the original actor back. They've got top people working on this. So it's a pretty, I think it's one of those movies. It's backed by George Lucas, and I think Steven Spielberg's even attached to this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's got all the Hollywood heavyweights working on this, so it will be garnering a lot of buzz. Now, this isn't the best copy in the world. It definitely needs a press because there's a big crease down here, but it doesn't color break. That's the amazing thing. So if we get this pressed out, we can get that looking almost brand new. This crease as well, not a color break, so press that out. This definitely needs a press, but the back is a little bit more shoddy. The front definitely presents better than the back, but again, with the press, I think you can resolve a lot of the issues that in terms of condition that affect this book. So I would, this book is trending up. I think it's $20 in value. It's probably going to go up higher. I would value it at $20 just because it's a newsstand copy, and again because it's just of significance. So yeah, this is one of those books I guess I picked up just because of the speculation, and because it was a quarter. 25 cents for a $20 book, that's the kind of value you want to pick up. And I was able to get that in this book here, and this book here. Well, 10 for this, 20 for this. So yeah, just not a lot of instances like that, but I think most of the books I picked up, you'll agree, are pretty significant books. So hopefully you enjoyed going through the Copper Age haul with me. So let me know in the comments what you think of all of these tiered hauls. I picked up 69 books. I didn't want to go through all 69, so I kind of spread them out so we could have more content and go through the books a little bit more in detail. But yeah, that was my Copper Age haul, and so we'll be back. Just wait for the next video, where we'll go over all the Jim Lee books I have picked up. So that will be a fun. I always have a lot of energy when I talk about Jim Lee books, so that'll be a fun video. And then after the Jim Lee video, we'll go right to the final, which will be the Bronze and Silver Age books that we picked up. So look out for those, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.